Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I did get rid of the hard hat because I'm outside now. Here with Brad Smith, president of Microsoft, here to talk about this new AI data center in Mount Pleasant. Your hometown, by the way. This is a homecoming for you, right?
I spent 5 years growing up here as a kid.
So all right. So this is great. So we're sitting here, this facility right now. I just got to take a tour through it. It's really cool to see where all the spending is going. This facility in particular, $3.3 billion facility. You just committed to build another one next door to where we are right now for $4 billion. Now, let's just talk about all this spending and where it's going. One thing that we noticed in the last earnings report from you guys was that you guided towards $20 billion in spending this quarter, kind of implying $100 billion in spending for your full fiscal year. Is that what we should expect to see you guys spending on data centers like this over the next 9 or 10 months?
Well, last year, our last fiscal year, we spent about $86 billion, and it's clear the number is going up. It's going up by, I'd say, a significant margin. And so, yes, you can expect us to keep making these kinds of investments because this is what the industry, this is what the world needs.
Now, this facility that we're here, I actually got to look at some of the server racks. They're going to be loaded up with thousands and thousands of these NVIDIA GPUs. Got to see how those are going to be housed and cooled and things like that. NVIDIA is also in the news today for something very interesting. You probably know you're a strong partner with NVIDIA. You're a strong partner with Intel. What is your read on that situation this morning where with NVIDIA investing billions into Intel? Do you see this as a political play for the Trump administration, or is there something else going on here?
Well, I'm not in a position to know the answer to that. I do know that we benefit in this country every day. NVIDIA is at the forefront of technology. Microsoft is at the forefront of technology. Intel has long been a pillar of technology, and I think anything that's good news for Intel is great news for the whole industry. So I think there's promise to come. That's terrific.
It seems like Intel shareholders and now the American public are liking this little return they're getting as well. Let's talk about AI demand. So I've heard your CEO, Satya Nadella, say so many times, we cannot build data centers like the one we're sitting in front of fast enough. The demand is just so enormous, we're going to keep spending and spending and spending. I want to dive into that, though, and talk a little bit about where the demand is coming from. The presumption is, the vast majority of it is OpenAI or related to OpenAI. Is that a fair assessment, or are we seeing how does that compare to what other AI models and your partners are doing as well on your Azure cloud?
Well, I would never for a moment understate the importance of OpenAI. They are constantly in the pursuit of greatness at the frontier. But in fact, we're seeing diversification. And this building is a testament to that. When this opens early next year, this will be the most powerful AI data center in the world. And there's a lot of things that go into that. It has the most advanced NVIDIA GPUs. It has more GPUs under one roof than any building on planet Earth. More than 100,000, literally hundreds of thousands of GPUs, all knitted together into a singular infrastructure and architecture in terms of networking systems, storage, and the like. And then the real question is, well, why? That's sort of, I think, what you're asking. Yeah. And it is both demand to train the world's most advanced AI models for an OpenAI, for Microsoft, where we're not at the frontier, but right now we're working every day building stronger models through Microsoft AI. But it's not just training models, which will happen here. It's making those models available for what's called inferencing, for all the applications that people are building, whether they're selling them to customers or they're building them in-house. We are seeing growing demand across the economy, growing AI adoption, not just in the United States, but around the world. We keep spending, but every dollar we spend is based on a very sophisticated calculation. We're spending to meet demand and to meet the demand we see growing.
And you can adjust that spend as necessary if the demand falters?
You certainly can make adjustments. But when you make investments at $3 or $4 billion at a time, you have to be looking forward. You have to be sophisticated in your forecasting. I think one of the things the investment community has come to expect, and I'll call it the Satya Nadella, the Amy Hood era, is very sophisticated financial forecasting. And we're applying that same sophistication to AI and AI demand and AI spending that we've long applied to every other part of our business, backed up by this technological innovation. it's a mistake for anyone to look at a data center and say, oh, anybody can put chips and a rack together. No. If you want to build what we have built here, this will be 10 times more powerful when it opens in early 26 than any existing supercomputer on planet Earth. And that's because of the sophistication of everything from the engineering design, the partnership with NVIDIA, even things like liquid cooling, so that you can run infrastructure at this scale.
I was on the phone with you earlier this week, and you announced that massive investment in the United Kingdom. Your CEO, Satya Nadella, was there today and last night at that white tie dinner. Excuse me. Can you help us understand a little bit how these deals come through? Clearly, the White House was involved in some way. When the president comes to you, how does that work? Do they say, what can you give us for this trip? Do you offer, or does the offer go the other way? How do those discussions even start with a company like Microsoft when you're going to be writing a massive check tied to a state visit with the president?
Well, the first thing I would say is the obvious. Microsoft is a business, it's a company, it's not a country, it's not a government. So every investment we make needs to make good business sense. So just as we're seeing growing demand in the United States, we're seeing growing demand in the United Kingdom. We have a very good, healthy dialogue, both with the White House and with the folks at number 10 Downing Street, Prime Minister Starmer in the UK. I give huge credit to both the White House and the Prime Minister's team for putting in place the fundamental framework that I think is fostering stability in the trade relationship between the two countries, encouraging investment in each country and across the Atlantic. I give huge credit to the White House, to President Trump, and to Prime Minister Starmer, for putting in place the kind of regulatory stability that will ensure we can invest in the UK and the customers in the UK can trust, as they always have, our technology from Microsoft, from the United States, knowing that they have a reliable source of supply. That's the framework.
Right.
And then when we talk about the specifics, because the framework's in place, because the demand is there, we can step forward and make the biggest investment we've ever made in the United Kingdom.
$30 billion US dollars.
Yeah, $30 billion over the 4 years of the Trump presidency.
And finally, let's go back to OpenAI for just 1 second. Last week, you guys announced that you've reached an understanding and a framework deal with this renegotiation of your relationship with OpenAI. Can you help fill in some of the gaps there that we don't really know some of the details? For example, what can we expect a revenue share agreement to look like between OpenAI? What kind of a stake are you calculating your stake will be worth at the end of these negotiations?
Well, look, I know you call this power lunch, but it's not, spill the food out of my mouth all over the table.
But you can. No one's listening. It's fine.
We're excited about the framework that was announced last week. It is the foundation for the next chapter in what I think is an extraordinary business partnership between OpenAI and Microsoft. And let's face it, neither of us would have gained the level of success without the other. And I think it's very exciting to now see what OpenAI's transition will mean to a kind of for-profit enterprise. Big benefit for the nonprofit with all of the right legal considerations in mind. More details to follow, but maybe we'll save that for lunch on another day.
Okay, we'll do a second power. There'll be dessert.
Okay,
how about that for this interview? All right, Brad Smith, president of Microsoft here in Wisconsin, hometown boy coming back to build a $3 billion data center. Thank you so much for joining us. Brian, I'm going to send it back over to you.